on. It's a high-end RV. From what I can tell, it's obviously they didn't leave it on the road. It was in one of the pads, and from what I can tell, that sailboat came across the street, hit it, went through it, and then they both, from the flow of water, was relocated. And this is the bottom line. Hey everybody, I'm Doug.
And I'm Paige.
And this is the bottom line. Welcome!
Welcome.
Love you guys. Big square. I have no idea what the square means. None. So listen, before we get into it, this week's going to be a little different. The show...
Just a smidge.
Just a little bit. So I went over to Fort Myers and took a look at the carnage about a month after the hurricane, because these guys are still really hurting, and I think you guys need to see the video. I'm going to tell you a couple of things real quick. The gouging and the thievery going on over there is insane.
Oh man,
it's insane. It's craziness. You'll see the video. It's the Wild West. But before we do that, let's just list off all our sponsors.
All right, we have our sponsors. We have Marine Data Solutions.
Yeah.
We have Salty Rags Crew Apparel.
Yep.
Hargrave Custom Yachts.
Yep.
An Interior Technology Service.
Yep.
And the last.
You know what? We can do better than that for our sponsors, because we love our sponsors so much. So here's the deal with the sponsors. Before you buy a yacht, you need some place to stay. That's crewhaven1501.com. Crewhaven1501.com. Now you're looking for a yacht. Where do you go? Well, I think you found one at Hargrave Custom Yachts. Don't forget Hargrave Custom Yachts. All their boats are custom. Now you got the boat. Now you need uniforms. So that's when you go to Salty Rags Crew Apparel. They'll take care of everything for you to get your boat ready. Now you're on the boat and you need data, and that's when you go to Marine Data Solutions. And the last thing we need is to make sure your carpets don't blow up. And that's when you go to Interior Technology Services, because remember, the carpets on these boats should be fire retardant, but besides that, they clean the whole boat. They clean everything. So we're going to roll into what's going on with the marinas over in Fort Myers after the hurricane. I'm going to jump in the middle of it and kind of give you guys some guidance. But anyway, it's hard to watch. Take a look. Just remember, everything over there is still a mess. So here we go. Georgia, roll the clip. So Hurricane Ian, a strong Cat 4 hurricane, came ashore in Fort Myers Beach on September 28th, 2022. It was reported to have a 10 to 15 foot storm surge, but locally the people stated it was more like 20 to 23 feet. From what I've seen, I kind of believe that. We're going to start in Fort Myers Beach and then kind of move inland a little. This is Fort Myers Beach, approximately 1 mile south of the bridge. The empty lots are actually represent where buildings used to be. And the current theme on all of this is the lower levels, like the first floor and maybe the second floor of just about every building is gone. A lot of the buildings that were on the beach side ended up across the street about 1,000 feet inland on the peninsula, and then got dropped there. Obviously that's where a building used to be. There's nobody living here. Most of the cars that are parked are trashed, completely wrecked. It really looks like a bomb went off, to be honest. Very sobering experience. There's been a lot of problems with the boats and looters and salvage teams trying to take advantage of the situation. I talked to a couple boat owners. We're still moving towards the beach. We're moving south on Fort Myers Beach. Again, it's like the first floor of every building is just gone. It's like the water came in and just took it away. Hard to believe this is part of the United States right now. This is the ocean side, same thing. First level gone. Talking to people, they say these stick buildings are useless in a situation like this, and they wish they weren't actually here. A lot of the lots have been cleaned up by now, but don't forget there used to be buildings there. You can see the power coming out of the ground with nothing there. 7-Eleven, completely gone. The buildings that did stay are still uninhabitable because even though they're standing, they still had major damage. They're trying to put sand back on the beach. You weren't allowed on the beach because what I was told was they're not sure if there's still bodies out there. Most of that building's gone except for the tower. All of Fort Myers Beach is not visible. So this is the fishing fleet, and it's actually sitting on top of Golf Cove Trailer Park. It's really not supposed to be there. That was a trailer park, but the fishing fleet ended up there. Now we're moving towards Salty Sam's Marina. We are on the mainland. The harbor's to the right, trailer park's to the left. And the theme seems to be that all the boats that broke loose to the right side of the boatyards and the marinas ended up on the other side of the street. This is a trailer park. This is Ebb Tide RV Park. It's completely gone. It's a high-end RV. From what I can tell, it's obviously they didn't leave it on the road. It was in one of the pads, and from what I can tell, that sailboat came across the street, hit it, went through it, and then they both, from the flow of water, was relocated. But basically, nothing's where it was left. That's a very old Concord 47 motor yacht. If you look at the sailboat, you can see, well, that's about a 6-foot draft there. So, you know, there was 6 feet here. We're about 1,000 feet from the harbor behind us. This is actually 3 campers. So this is a camper, RV trailer, and then something else I can't even determine what it used to be, piled on top of each other. I was talking to a guy here. He said that this is where he said that the water was over 20 feet. This is the marina on the port side. That guy's boat was in the street. Okay, I'm going to jump right in here. That boat that you just saw on the road, I actually was talking to the owner. And I want to throw a quick crew corner in here. Insurance is a funny thing. There are different levels of insurance, and a lot of the problems that I'm seeing over in Fort Myers is a lot of people do not have the proper insurance or enough insurance. You have just basic liability, which means they're going to, if the boat sinks, they're going to clear it up and take it away. You get nothing. Then you have, and I'm no insurance expert, I'm just going off what I do with my boats, you know, and my boss's boats. Then the second thing is you have full coverage insurance where you would get money back if something happened to the boat. Then the third type, well, another facet of that is agreed value. And that's where a lot of people kind of get messed up. You buy a boat for $100,000, they may only give you 60. But if you have agreed value that the boat's really worth 100 grand, then you'll get the 100. And then you have to look into the clauses. In other words, we're upping your 5% deductible to 20% during a named storm. You also have to check to see if they require you to move out of the area if there's a named storm. Some insurance companies actually pay you to get the boat hauled out. So you really need to check all this out. I think the one thing that I found in Fort Myers was a lot of people did not have the proper insurance and got stuck. That guy with the boat sitting on the road there, he said majority of the damage came from a bulldozer pushing it. That's where most of the underwater, running gear got damaged. And then when he tried to get it back in the water, these salvage pirates said it's going to be $30,000. And they said, it's 30 grand, what's the name of your insurance company? And he said, why you want to know my insurance company? I'll pay you. And they immediately dropped it to $15,000. So if you think of it, you know, there's a lot of thievery going on in Fort Myers, and you got to be really, really careful. One way or the other, it's going to bite you in the butt with insurance. You just got to take it slow, and you got to do it right. And then lastly, you know, somebody really needs to define the salvage laws. I understand if a boat is abandoned, somebody can grab it, but what about after a hurricane and it's sitting on Elm Street? It's kind of funny because there's a lot of that going on too. Okay, let's get back to taking a look at Fort Myers. Now, where we are at Getaway Marina, and this is across the street from Getaway Marina, and all the boats crossed the street and ended up in this brush. I don't even know how they're going to get those out. With the people claiming salvage on these boats, a lot of people are staying on their boat to save it. There's a guy that's staying on that sport fish. He's got the generator hooked up. He's running power out there because he's trying to stay on his boat so he doesn't lose it. Salvage companies are coming in. Florida Highway Patrol is also putting notices that you have to get these boats out of here, which I think is kind of ridiculous. This is a monumental task. It's not just throw a trailer. So a lot of people are staying on these boats because salvage teams are coming and claiming salvage, and then they move the boat, and then whoever had the boat loses it. Another problem is these older boats only had limited insurance, so they'll get the boat out of there, but the owners will receive nothing, which is a real shame. And some of these boats didn't have proper coverage. This is an old Hatteras 41. Built like a tank. It made it across the street, but I don't know what its future is. Okay, now we are at Legacy Harbor Marina. For those of you who know, this marina just disintegrated, and it deposited all the boats on the lawn. The marina was behind these boats, and we're downtown Fort Myers now. There's an old Burger, about a 60-footer. There's a Hatteras. Is that an Ocean Alexander? And now we are at Fort Myers Yacht Basin. By the way, all the marinas are closed. Every single marina in this area is non-functional. If there are docks, they've been condemned. It's going to be a long time before you bring a boat to Fort Myers or Fort Myers Beach. You can see some boats floating. There's a lot of boats under the water you can't see. Some of the bigger boats are sticking out. Over there, I can only guess that it's a Sea Ray. I mean, there is literally nothing left of it. Nothing. Now we're moving to Old Bridge Marina. Old Bridge Marina. This marina has just been completely destroyed. Boats are still tied to the docks, and it went down. They went down where they sit, and the docks broke free. Here's a shot. It's obviously an old Hatteras. Was it 61 or something? You got a Marine Trader. There's a Grand Banks at the end of the dock. It looks like a black fin. And there's a couple other boats even behind that are sitting on the bottom. It's an absolute mess. It looks like a Hatteras 61. So in Centennial Park, they've started a memorial for the people who died during the storm, and there's quite a lot. It's a very eerie scene. This is near Legacy Harbor Marina, was right behind it. But people are putting up crosses to remember the people who passed away. It's a very eerie sight. It's hard to believe that this is in the United States of America, and we all have to remember that they still need our help. They still need our help. Okay, that's kind of hard to watch, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's incredible what's going on over there. I think it's important that I show you this because it's been a little while now. It's all in the back of everybody's heads, but this is still going on
happening
on a day-to-day basis in Fort Myers. This place is leveled like a bomb went off. Hard to believe it's the United States of America, and we have a whole town that looks like that. All right, so we'll be back next week with a normal show. I'm Doug.
And I'm Paige.
And that's the bottom line. Boom, boom, boom. Ka-chung, 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 ka-chung. That's it.
Boom.
That was an easy show.
It was.
Right?
Yeah.